I would then opine.
Well, regarding the journalist that he has deplatformed, he put him back on. He took a poll and found out that most people did not like the idea that he was doing that. But he did it for, in my opinion, for a legitimate reason, and that is that he had a stalker. Also, some people were identifying where he was at a given time. This is a famous guy with a lot of enemies, and he's concerned about his security. But as to...
So right away, he's talking about he put them back on. But yet he would not use that same logic for Twitter that reversed their decision to suppress the Hunter Biden story. Right? Twitter made a decision. It was a debated decision, but they made a decision to suppress the story. And then they reverted it. But that's not relevant. But he thinks it's relevant that even though Elon Musk did the opposite of free speech absolutists by banning a bunch of people, but he reversed it. Didn't reverse all of them. Also notice that he is talking about how they were putting his life at risk. Do you really think Larry Elder is not aware by now that that's actually false? One journalist was attacked because they simply looked into the story about his son, Elon's son, being attacked, and they were sharing information that the police had said they had not gotten a report. Elon Musk was suppressing the newsworthy information that the local police did not have a report. It was not doxing. This was journalism. And he was suppressing it. And even if he suspended someone's channel for that and then restored it, that doesn't make it any better, the fact that he suspended them in the first place. Especially for a man who's been walking around talking about free speech, free speech. If he really cared about free speech, this would have never happened. He would never have to restore them. He wouldn't have suspended them in the first place. Not for sharing that, hey, there was no police report. Absolutely not. There's no situation where someone who really cares about free speech would go after someone for sharing that information.
To the general question, what the Twitter files have revealed, Dr. Richey, is that there was a pervasive attempt to silence, I shouldn't say attempt, effort to silence conservatives and conservative content. They did not tell conservatives that they were bottle capping them. Not only did they not tell them, they publicly and under oath denied they were doing it. Jack Dorsey.
I've not seen any evidence presented that suggests that conservatives were being targeted. There were conservatives who were suppressed and perhaps shadow banned, but there are socialists who are shadow banned. There's liberals who are shadow banned. It's the equivalent of me making an argument that the police are attacking so-called black people by presenting that, here are 6 black people that were arrested by the cops. Okay. Right? Like Twitter was doing shadow banning. Right? So that means people were shadow banned. And the people could be conservatives, could be liberals. Right? He's not even making an argument that there were more conservatives than liberals who were shadow banned. He's only pointing out the conservatives that were shadow banned and framing it in a way as if to imply that they were targeted because of their ideology. So if we have a bunch of communists on Twitter who are sharing a bunch of revenge porn pictures, and they all get their accounts suspended, and then I go and say, look at this, Twitter's targeting communists. Look at all these communists that got targeted. They were watching these communists. Look at this. This is a communist account, and Twitter admitted that they were watching this account. Unless you accompany this statement with additional information that suggests that there was no reason for these people to be tracked or attacked or shadow banned, then you are making a disingenuous argument. You can talk about whether people should be shadow banned or not. That's a separate topic. But again, he's making a big effort to suggest that there was some targeting of people because of their ideology, but he's presenting zero evidence of that.
The former founder and owner of Twitter publicly said, we are not censoring people based upon ideology. Clearly they were. A bunch of FBI agents.
He just says clearly they were presenting zero evidence. I've looked at the Twitter files. I didn't see any evidence that they were being targeted because of their ideology. All the people that were targeted, they were targeting because of their conduct. Now, you may disagree that their conduct should be allowed, but that's a separate conversation.
Former FBI agents also worked at Twitter, and the suppression of content, the interaction with the FBI, the DOJ, to me is scary. A lot of people were simply not able to get their...
I don't think it's scary to Larry Elder at all. I think it's profitable rhetoric for him.
Information out, including COVID. 100 million people were thrown into poverty because of the lockdowns worldwide, Dr. Richey, and in the United States. I'm in California. About a third of all small restaurants are now gone forever, many of them owned by black and brown people, the people on the left that people on the left claim that they care about. Depression was up, suicide's up, opioid addiction has been up, murder.
People on the left don't really care about the people they claim to care about, much like the people on the right don't really care about the people they claim to care about. Partisan Americans will do what partisan Americans will do, put their tribe above all else.
Result, all because of these lockdowns. And there was a declaration called the Great Barrington Declaration, signed by 3 esteemed epidemiologists, ultimately signed by 50,000 scientists and medical professionals and hundreds of thousands of other people, saying that the lockdown was a bad idea. That document was suppressed. People like Dr. Bhattacharya of Stanford, who was co-signer of that document, was deplatformed. So a lot of people never heard the counter-argument about lockdowns, counter-argument about mandates, and a lot of people suffered as a result of it.
Let me respond to what you have laid out thoughtfully. You laid out a couple of elements, but I think I have them all. So let me first respond to the Elon Musk issue. Elon Musk, under his order,
I gotta say, I was very excited when I watched some of this guy's early videos, Dr. Richey here. I mean, he knows how to debate. Now, I've seen him do some horrible debates as well, but he is capable. Unfortunately, his partisanship gets in the way sometimes, or many times rather. So I've been very disappointed in the partisan nature of his content. I think he is capable of much, much better work. He could be an outstanding journalist, but instead he ends up being just another propagandist on TYT. That being said, let's see what he has to say.
Informed multiple journalists. Now, he made a quote. I'm going to read the exact quote when he took over Twitter. He said, "Free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated." Now, he's wrong on the town square dynamic. That's a legal term of art, as you know as an attorney. But I get his sentiment. He says, okay, I'm a free speech guy. He then deplatforms journalists for what you say was a legitimate reason. Let me read that as well. It says, and this is directly from, I think this was a CNN quote, but a series of sporadic tweets, Musk claimed that the journalists had violated his new doxing policy. So that's what you just alluded to, that they were endangering him. However, after multiple investigations into this from the agencies, they appeared to be baseless. None of those journalists did any precise real-time location on Elon Musk. So that was another dynamic. And all of the journalists, not all of them, have been restored. Most of them have. And then to your point about they are simply going after conservatives. Let me address that. Candace Owens is not deplatformed. Charlie Kirk has not been deplatformed. And you have to remember this, Mr. Elder. When you engage in a contract with Twitter, Facebook, whoever it is, you literally agree that if you violate their community standards, they have the right to deplatform you. You put your signature on that. And you say, I agree, boom, and you click the
free market. Free market. Let the private corporations do their thing. set their rules, run their platform the way they want to.
The button. And all of a sudden, you don't want to be accountable to what you agreed to. If you agreed, you would follow certain rules and you decide to violate those rules. Or if for some reason they believe you're problematic, they have the right to say no to serve you. Now, I do find it quite ironic that many conservatives are okay with the argument of not serving a person who's gay or lesbian. They're okay with that. But they're not okay with Twitter saying, we're going to deplatform you because you broke our rules. You guys can't have it both ways, dear brother. Twitter is a private company. The Constitution, First Amendment, makes it clear. Congress shall make no law to establish religion, prohibiting free speech, etc. Twitter is not the US Congress. Then Donald Trump himself filed a lawsuit, called it a class action, never qualified it to be so. But he said, well, Twitter has to allow me to speak, has to allow conservative voices. Well, no, they don't, because the freedom of speech clause applies to governmental operations typically. So I don't get the ambiguity here. There's a dysfunction of duality. Donald Trump is suing social media companies, saying, well, they need to let me say what I want to say. And then there's a protection of Elon Musk saying, well, people can't say what they want to say. And by the way, even that doxing thing, the person who was behind it, dear brother, he was utilizing publicly available information from the FCC. So if you have a problem with publicly available information from the FCC on your jet, then you need to sue the FCC, which he did not do. All right, go ahead.
I want you guys, this is a very important thing. If you're partisan, you're more leaning towards supporting Elon Musk, and you believe in this freedom of speech bullshit. Not saying that freedom of speech is bullshit, but I am saying the people who talk most about it don't really care about it. That's what I'm saying. Then you're going to have a lot of problems with what he just said. And that's fine. You can have an opinion. You can disagree with what he just said. But what I think is important for you to note is that Larry Elder made a bunch of points, right? Dr. Richey just specifically addressed those multiple points. In my view, he did a very good job. But even if you don't think he did a good job, right? It's not about agreeing or disagreeing with him. The point is that a bunch of points were made by Larry Elder, and they were, I think, all responded to by Dr. Richey. And in the end, what we get is Larry Elder smiling for some reason. Now, if Larry Elder is an honest person, he will respond in kind to all of the points that were just made, right? So again, it's not about agreeing or disagreeing with Dr. Richey. It's again, he responded. So Larry Elder, let's just say Larry Elder made 4 points. Dr. Richey responded to those 4 points. If Larry Elder is as dishonest as pretty much all the major right-wing influencers are, he's not going to address the points that were made by Dr. Richey. He's not going to agree. He's not going to challenge them. Instead, he's going to run away and try to move the goalpost. What do you think he's about to do? Is he going to address all the points that were made? 4 points made, 4 rebuttals given. What's the response to the 4 rebuttals? Let's see.
The FCC on your jet, then you need to sue the FCC, which he did not do. All right, go ahead. What's your response?
Let me try to unpack at least some of what you just now said.
Okay.
We're bearing the lead here. The lead is that Twitter has been restricting the...
We are burying the lead. So that is Larry Elder saying, I'm not going to acknowledge anything that you've said that might be correct. I'm not going to attempt to give you the same courtesy that you gave me by responding to my points. I'm not going to give you that and respond to your points. I'm just going to dismiss everything you just said and suggest that there's something else that's more important. Right? Again, I'm not going to challenge, agree, disagree. I'm just going, well, you're bearing the lead. You're bearing the lead. Spoken like a true fraud.
Access to posts put on by conservatives. The string of Twitter files has acknowledged this. They did not advise the person that they were doing this. They denied that they were doing it under oath. That's the big story here. Now, regarding Elon Musk's inconsistency in your view, again, he already has retreated on that and put the reporters back on the platform after saying that he was going to deplatform them. So to me, that's...
Why is it relevant that he put them back? Why is that relevant? He claimed to be a free speech guy. He does the exact opposite. But because he put most of them back, somehow that makes sense that a free speech guy would act in such an authoritarian way?
Just a minor issue. The big issue is the collusion between Twitter, the FBI, the DOJ, the fact that they were silencing conservative voices, not telling the conservative voices that they were being silenced, and publicly denying it. That to me.
This is what you do when you have a weak argument. You ignore all the points that you are afraid to debate or stand on, and you try to focus on something that you think you have a better chance of winning. Larry Elder feels like the FBI thing is something stronger. He feels that Dr. Richey isn't going to be able to really challenge it. So rather than be an honest person and acknowledge some of the stuff that Dr. Richey said that might be correct, or try to engage and correct Dr. Richey on many things that he said, right? He's only going to focus on the things that he feels that he he can have a win. Like, all he cares about is winning. I'm not trying to have a conversation, not trying to learn anything or anything like that. It's all about, how can I have a win? How can I own this guy? So you noticed a couple of things that he did talk about before he went into this FBI thing. Those are things that he feels like, his best points. Not a man of integrity.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about that. I do believe that private companies have the right to deplatform individuals that violate particular rules. I don't want children to be in the same place as a person using the N-word, et cetera. I don't want that, right? So let's go to the point you made about an affiliation of Twitter and federal government. Many major companies, as you know, as a prolific businessman yourself, many major companies have some level of coordination with governmental entities. I will bring to your attention, brother, the NFL. The NFL hires former FBI.
So I'm gonna stop it there. You guys can go to Dr. Richey's channel and see the full video. The bullpen, Dr. Richey lays out an absolute truth to Larry Elder in epic fashion. But notice that once again, every time Larry Elder makes a point, Dr. Richey addresses the point. But Larry Elder refuses to give that back in return. Larry Elder presents 4 points. He gets 4 rebuttals. But then Larry Elder doesn't give 4 rebuttals to the 4 rebuttals, either conceding, I'll concede this, I'll concede that, but I will add more points to challenge the 3 and 4. No. I'm going to ignore most of what you just said. I'm going to hang on to things that I have a best chance of having a win on. And if you hit me hard with those things, then I'm going to retreat and then move to something else that I think I can get a win on. But I'm never going to agree with you, never going to concede. And if you come with a strong rebuttal, I'm not going to engage with that rebuttal. I'm just going to pretend like I didn't hear what you said. So regardless of agreeing or disagreeing with Dr. Richey, you have to recognize that Dr. Richey was consistently giving back more than Dr. Elder was. I don't know why I call him Larry Elder. You're getting more responses from Dr. Richey to Larry Elder than you're getting responses from Larry Elder to Dr. Richey. Again, I look at Dr. Richey as a partisan propagandist who unfortunately was a big disappointment to me. In another life, I would be his #1 fan. And in this particular video, I mean, this is representative of what he's capable of. I think he's doing a really good job here. But the overall content on his channel is just not it. This is the Debate Me channel. Debate me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well.